For day 6 continued, there is a small typo. This should say 6, example 6. Alright, so for this particular day of notes, we're kind of putting everything together. All the different forms, how do you write them from the line on the graph. So first, we have to come up with what components do we need. Well, we always need slope. So m is your slope. So let's find that. So my most left point to my most right point. I'm going to go down, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's -4. And I'm going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is -4, 5. -4/5. Can't reduce that. Can't divide that evenly, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, secondly, I need a y-intercept. So the line crosses the y-axis at +4. Okay, then the last thing we need is a point. So we can use either point on the graph, it doesn't matter what point. But however, it does have to match whatever point was used in the multiple choice. So for this particular activity, we're always going to go with the y-axis. Okay, so the point on the y-axis would be 0, 4. So that is my x1 and my y1. Okay, so now I always write it out because when you look at these choices are meant to trick you. And hopefully they don't. Hopefully you can think of what it's supposed to be and then match it correctly and not just pick something in a rush thinking that's the correct answer. So first and foremost, I think it's the easiest to do slope-intercept form. So for slope-intercept form, I have y equals m, -4/5, x plus b, b is 4. So I'm going to match this up to 1 over here. So it looks like D matches up to my answer here. So make sure we write D on the line. We know it's D. Okay, now I'm going to go to point slope form. So obviously I need my point, I need my slope. I can write it up here. I can write it down here. Wherever you have space and you feel comfortable writing it, do that. Okay? So I know that I have to do y minus y1. Well, y1 is 4. Equals my slope, which is -4/5. Then I have x minus x1. x1 was 0. Now, this can be kind of controversial. 0 is neutral. It's not positive, it's not negative, it's just 0. It's nothing. So you could put -0, you could put +0. Either one is correct. You can see here, we use both those, plus and the -0. It honestly does not matter. So let's match it up. Which one does it match to? So y minus 4, I only have 1. My slope matches, x minus 0 matches, yes, b. Okay, if I put a +0 here, it didn't match mine, that still would be correct in this case. Alright, now, to go from 1, 2 to 3, to get 3, we have to use 2. And we can write it on here, but I think it would get somewhat messy. So I'm going to write it on here. Alright, so first thing is we have to take our answer for slope-intercept form. And our goal for standard form is to get x and y on the same side. So we can see that right here, x and y are on the same side all the way through. Because we have a fraction, we have to clear the fraction. So we are going to multiply by 5, and we're going to get 5y. These 5's cancel, and we have -4x, and then 5 times 4 is 20. Now, to get my x by itself, I have to add it to the other side. So I add 4x over, and we have a positive 4x plus 5y equals that 20. So that's what I'm looking for. 4x plus 5y equals 20. Okay, so I have D. Okay? So I'm going to tear this off, and I'm going to put it with that first one just for now. Alright. Now, moving on to the second problem. Again, we got to find all that same information. So first, let's find our slope. So here we are. How do we get to here? We have to rise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to run 2. So we have 5 over 2. Our b looks like we have -1. So there's 0. We went down -1. And then remember, for these types of problems, we're going to use the point on the y-axis. So that would be 0, -1. Okay, again, that's x1 and y1. Okay, so slope-intercept form was pretty easy. Let's do that one first. So y equals m. M is 5/2. X plus b plus -1, which is a -1. So that's b. Okay. For point slope form, we have to do y minus y1. So we're going to do y minus -1 for y. M is 5/2. And then we have to do x minus x1, which is 0. Okay, so let's change that double negative to a positive. And we're looking for y plus 1 right here. Here's our two options because this has zeros. That can't be it. We got a plus 1 and a minus 1. 5/2, x plus 0. So they did plus instead of minus. That's totally okay. But we got to go with the y plus 1 because we had that double negative. Okay, now, over here, for standard form, we have to take that original equation there for slope-intercept form, and we got to get x and y on the same side. But we're not allowed to have fractions as coefficients. Coefficients are the numbers in front of a variable. So like for y, that's an invisible 1. But right here for this one, it's a 5/2, which, again, we can't have a fraction. So we clear the fraction. We multiply by the denominator, which is 2. So I have 2y, a 5x, and 2 times -1 is -2. Now, I got to get that x over there, so I subtract the 5x, and we have -5x plus 2y equals -2. So I go compare that to the problems down here. So -5x, 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 oh, I need a positive 2y, -5x, positive 2y equals -2. D it is. So you can see most of the answers, they kind of go along with your answer, but you really have to compare every part of that. Okay? Alright, so that is the last one for that.